Tonight we talk about the health of the economy of the state of Louisiana with the man at the helm at the Louisiana Association of Business and Industry. But we'll start tonight with a conversation with the High Sheriff. Roll it, Kyle. Well, you know, this man has been owing me sea bass for a better part of about a decade and just won't come through on what he owes me, but he's also a dear friend. And the sheriff for East Baton Rouge Parish, the Honorable Sid Gautreaux. Man, when am I going to get that sea bass?
Well, Clay, thank you for having me, first of all, and I think that species may be extinct before we ever get to have that sea bass.
Well, you know, it's been a while. You were here a few weeks ago, and actually, as we sit and record the show, you and I are going to be in a discussion later on this evening with some other law enforcement colleagues and some business people. But I want to begin before we get into that. You know, the latest news was about a death at the parish prison, and wanted to give you a chance to talk about that. It was due to fentanyl, which the first question is, how do you get fentanyl into the parish prison?
Well, it's smuggled in. We have people that throw little packages over the fence. We've got to constantly be looking for that. We're looking at people coming and going all the time, but they are actually bringing it in body cavities.
Yeah.
You know, and we've had that happen on several occasions. We look at any and all possibilities as to how it's getting into prison, and we do everything we can to try to stop it. But there's not a prison in the United States that doesn't have illegal drugs in it. And you know, but the warden is very vigilant on that, he and his people, and they're constantly doing things. If we get information that they may have something in one of the cell blocks, we go in there and shake it down and check everything for weapons and for narcotics.
Well, you know, it's something, and like you said, I was talking to a friend of mine who's a federal agent with DEA, and he's talked about even people using drones to fly over the yards of these of prisons to drop in drugs or other things, and it's crazy. You know, you and I talk all the time about crime here, and you've talked about the cultural aspect of what drives crime. Before we get into that, kind of talk to me about what's happening here, because we see these numbers here and across the country, how violent America is right now.
Yes, and we're not immune from it. You know, we have our share of violent acts that occur, homicides, attempted murders, shootings, stabbings. But, you know, I think it's indicative of what you just said. It's indicative of what's going on around the entire country now. And, you know, we've got to be vigilant. We've got to be there. You know, we just did another walk through down in the Gus Young area last week. Try to reach as many people as you can. You know, there's systemic problems that been existing for years.
Right.
Those things have to be addressed, and I think they are being addressed, but it's not a quick fix. It's going to take years for us to get away from where we are in regards to mindsets and how people think and how people feel about themselves or their neighbors. But in the meantime, too, we got to do as much innovative enforcement as we can. And when you look at all these shootings, you know, domestic violence is different. Some of these accidental shootings are different, but the violent acts are being committed, whether they're shooting a gun in the air, whether they're shooting a gun at a vehicle or a house or a person, or pulling up next to a car and lighting the car up because they got a target in there, but they're indifferent to whoever else may be in there. You know, we've had kids killed and everything else. But you know, we have got to do targeted enforcement based on intel that we have, based on complaints that we get, and things that we know are going on in that area. You know, we recently busted the Bankstown Mafia.
Yeah.
And they had been feuding with about 3 groups, but 2 of them were in the Zion City, Glen Oaks area, which they have kind of joined together now, and they call themselves the 5400.
Yep.
But when you're dealing with these groups, there's all the drugs, money, there's human trafficking involved, and the bigger the better. You know, I've told my narcotics people, and you and I have talked about some of the busts that we've made over the last year. That's what we really go after, especially with narcotics. We're not going to go out on the street corners and try to see how many people we can pick up for possession and things. I mean, we'll deal with it, but that's not our focus. Our focus is to go after the dealers. We've had these narcotics that we've been dealing with straight out of Mexico, out of Texas. We've had some cartel involvement with some of the things that we've been able to address.
Well, I want you to hold your thought. We'll come back and continue that and talk a little bit about some of the car thefts that have been happening around the parish as well. Talking to Sheriff Sid Gautreaux about what's happening in East Baton Rouge Parish. He's the highest ranking law enforcement officer in our parish. Back to talk more with him about what we're doing here in just a moment. Sheriff Gautreaux has been in this post since 2007. Currently the longest, well, you and, who got in first? You or Hiller? I think you were in before District Attorney Moore.
I was in there a little
So
before
the longest tenured parish elected official right now, next to Doug Welburn, who's been in office for 113 years.
Glad you said that.
You were going into break talking about some of the things that your office is doing to address crime. One of the really major areas, because it's been down in some areas, believe it or not, to most people, one of the big things has been car thefts. Man, it's bad right now. What's going on with that?
Well, there again, that's another thing that seems to be nationwide. And of course, you look at the carjackings and the car thefts that are occurring in New Orleans. I think some of that floats up here as well. And I'm not blaming it all on New Orleans people, but we got our own thieves here. But you know, but it has been on the increase. Most of our other categories of crime we're dealing with, they really have gone down. But you know, shootings, car thefts, carjackings, we've had that happen, and we're addressing it. You know, we just opened up our new, and I want you to come see that, Clay, our new Crime Information Center. Okay. And over there in Industrialplex. And it houses our armed robbery and burglary units, as well as, you know, all the people that are involved with the technology part of it. We did a thing here a couple months ago. It was an ATF initiative.
I heard about that.
Yeah, it was a tremendous success.
Yeah.
In 3 days, I think we arrested 54 individuals, and we seized like 45 different guns and money and narcotics. So it was a tremendous success. We brought everybody there, and they worked out of that Crime Information Center with our cameras and everything else, and it was real good. So, but that's what we use for this.
You know, I've had this conversation with people when they talk about crime, public safety, and I want to get your thoughts on this. I believe law enforcement agencies are on the back end of the crime equation. In other words, somebody commits a crime and someone calls 911, a victim or a witness or whatever, you guys investigate it, find out who's responsible. There is work on the front end before someone becomes a potential perpetrator that we have not been doing for a very long time, in terms of what you teach kids in homes and investments in poor communities and schools. We should focus more on that.
That's right. That goes back to what I said earlier, and you know, you and I have talked about it 100 times. My approach to law enforcement is twofold. One, we have to do a tremendous amount of community outreach.
Right.
We got to let the people know that we care. We're not going to be here today, gone tomorrow. That we're really concerned about them and their well-being and their safety. But on the other hand, you got to do the enforcement.
Yep.
You can't have one without the other.
Yep.
Either way.
Yep.
You can do all the feel-good things and the positive things
Right.
in the community, but if you're not doing the enforcement, you're not going to get the results you want. Vice versa, if we're doing all enforcement and none of the outreach, we're not. So, you know, those things, like I say, are systemic problems that have been going on for years and years and years, you know, decades.
Right.
And we could both sit here and talk about our opinions of when we thought it started. But the breakdown of family unit, you know, how many times have you heard me say that when we're dealing with these people, young people on the streets, when you look further into their family and everything, it's a single mother or a grandmother that's working, trying to do 2 or 3 jobs just to put food on the table and a roof over her head.
Right.
And then, you know, then dropped out of school, not in church, whatever. I mean, it's just, you know, so the basis of what formed your character, my character, those things I just talked about, a majority of that doesn't exist.
Right.
And we have got to change it, and we got to change it as a community. You know, people can't sit back and say, oh, this doesn't affect me.
Yeah, it does.
Crime affects every man, woman, and child
Listen,
in this city. I don't care where you
Here's
live.
the thing. People have been saying that for years, and now it is happening on Segan Lane. It is happening on Bluebonnet. It's happening at festivals around the country where the areas that are considered safe areas because of the lack of investment where it starts. And so, you know, we got about a minute left, and I want to ask this question. You know, as the top law enforcement guy in the parish, if someone sitting in East Baton Rouge Parish who is concerned about crime is worried, what would you say to them to give them some hope that it's going to get better?
Continue to work with us, reach out to us, give us information that we need to help stop a crime or help solve a crime.
Right.
And you know, there's a lot of victims out there that have no idea who did, but there's a whole lot of victims, especially in shootings and violent crimes. They know who the perpetrator is.
Yep.
And a lot of times we go and we hit a stone wall from the first minute we start investigating. They're not going to talk to us. They don't want, and they know who did it. They know who did it. But that's the thing. We have to continue to reach out to the entire community, but the community needs to reach back. I'm going to say one thing real quick. How many times have we gone to an individual and the individual said, well, I saw the person next door, but I didn't. You know, people think, well, there's nothing you can do. Well, actually, there's nothing we can do if you don't tell us.
Thank you, Sheriff. Coming up, we'll talk with Stephen Waguespack. Stay right there. Back with more show.
Whoa, wait a minute.
Stephen Waguespack is the person at the helm of the Louisiana Association of Business and Industry. More than 2,200 companies employing more than 300,000 Louisianans.
What could go wrong?
It's a big, literally everything. But
oh yeah, that.
But it's interesting. So I want to start with the session ended a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
What are some wins that Lobby sees as wins coming out of the session?
Yeah, I mean, I think the big win of this session was infrastructure was the big one. Obviously, the feds have dumped cash over every state in the country. We're no different. All of this money sitting there, and so it's very tempting for legislatures and governors across the country to spend it in all kind of crazy scenarios. And actually, this one did a pretty good job. They invested in infrastructure. They invested in paying down debt. They stabilized the unemployment trust fund to stop tax increases. Some of the infrastructure investments are critical to this area. Obviously, the Baton Rouge Bridge had its first main investment. Obviously, there's more to come, and there's still plenty of time to fight about locations and all that good stuff, but there's no doubt that is a game-changing down payment on that. So we feel pretty good about the investment side, and that really was the storyline of the session. The other piece is, you know, we're very troubled with the state of our education system. Some of the scores we're seeing, when all these kids were sent home over the last 2 years for COVID, there's a lot of tough results coming out of that. We got less than 50% of our kids in K2 that can read at grade level. We're seeing our testing rates, our graduation rates coming down. Those are very troubling. So we passed some reforms to try to improve some of that. Some the governor vetoed, which we were very irritated with. Others got through, and so it's kind of a win-loss scenario there. But you know, overall, they spent money responsibly. They passed some efforts to improve some of the educational outcomes. And if the governor's veto pen would have stayed in his pocket, we could have had more of a win there.
You were here in studio listening to my conversation with Sheriff Gautreaux. Obviously, for businesses around the state, crime is an issue, and it has a major impact on communities, because when businesses move based upon crime, that has a residual impact on the communities they leave. Across the state, what's the conversation about crime? Because it isn't just in East Baton Rouge Parish, it's in Caddo Parish, obviously it's in Orleans Parish. What's the conversation?
It's not a good one. It's getting to a red alert level, and you know, people don't know what to do, but they feel like it's spiraling out of control.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you're in a rural area or an urban setting, but everyone says the same thing. That scares away investment. That scares away. It makes people start thinking about other ways to make a living, other places to live. So it's not good. I think the thing that we need to be careful about is how we address the problem, because there's two things to look. One, we've got to be tough on those who are causing the crime, and that means tougher than we are today.
Yeah.
Tougher with how we sentence, tougher with how we keep them, tougher how we charge and prosecute, tough as we can be. But at the same time, we still have to do a better job of, once we have someone incarcerated, we got to get them drug free. We got to educate and train them. We got to get them ready so when they come out, they don't have to go back to a life of crime. And so there has to be a two-pronged approach. Do a better job of getting people onto a path of following the right path, and also dropping the hammer on those people who just refuse to play by the rules.
So, you know, I've had this conversation. You and I were talking with Ralph Bender here before we started the show. The businesses across the state want to invest in some kind of crime mitigation program. I mean, they've got the money to say we can do it, but they don't always have a vehicle. And why is that the case? Why aren't there more vehicles for entities with the dollars to invest in, to touch these communities or support the back end rehabilitation, like you said, so they don't become a recidivist?
I mean, it's a great question. I mean, I can tell you my theory is. My theory is a couple reasons. One, it's kind of out of their comfort zone.
Okay.
Many people, if you run a business, you don't run a courtroom, you don't run a jail, you don't run a district attorney's office, so you don't really know how that office really works. So it's a foreign language to you to a certain extent. The other piece is, I think the problem feels so large you can't wrap your arms around it. And so it's easy to express frustration than it is to drive solutions. But there is definitely a willingness there. You're spot on. You got your finger on the pulse. They are ready to step up, be a part of a solution. You're seeing some of those dialogues come out in New Orleans right now, where the business community, which has been trained over the years to keep their mouth shut and just kind of stay in the margins, they're sick of that. They're ready to step up and be part of the solution. So I think you will find a business community ready to step in with dollars, with effort, with whatever it takes, if that community that speaks a different language, your police, your sheriffs, your DAs, your judges, reach out to them and say, look, here's a clear path to make improvements, but here's where we need your help.
Who leads that?
It's a great question. Maybe it's me, maybe it's you, maybe it's a collective business on law enforcement side. Maybe this is what we can cover in a podcast pretty soon on Live E.
Well, I finally got invited. I mean,
well, I'm slow on the schedule.
We've known each other a long time. Everybody's been on the podcast. You can't call me for it, right?
Man, we're getting the dead weight out of the way. We're just waiting for the star to come in. Come on.
It doesn't miss anything. You know, I want to take a quick break and come back and talk about, you know, for people who live in Baton Rouge, they don't often understand the perspectives that exist in other parts of the state. Like someone said to me a long time ago, Wags, that every 1 hour drive in Louisiana is a different culture.
Yeah, I agree. I believe it.
And so we'll come back and talk with Stephen about what's happening across the state and then his thoughts on where we're headed in the future. Back with more show in just a moment. And next week, we'll have a model in the building. And no, I am not talking about Pastorek. Back with more in just a moment. So, you know, one of the great responsibilities that Wags has is he travels across the state of Louisiana. And in traveling across the state, he gets the opportunity to talk with businesses and the perspective of the different parts of the state. Can you kind of translate what people are talking about around Louisiana?
Yeah, I mean, it is interesting. You know, we are a state with many different cultures. People kind of typecast us outside the state, but if you live here, you know the difference. I mean, Baton Rouge and New Orleans is different, south of I-10, north of I-10, all that. And so every state has their own strength and weakness. I will tell you right now, we're more focused on what ties us together as compared to the differences, because right now the biggest challenge is inflation hits everyone no matter where you live. Supply chain disruptions, all of that. The energy shutdown we're seeing out of DC right now, which you take the Gulf off of line basically for energy development, you feel that all the way up through North Louisiana. So really we have more things that tie us together right now than separates us. Everyone's got the same workforce challenges, et cetera. So we need some changes in policy at the DC level and at the state level to really unlock some of that, and then we can get back to our unique differences.
It doesn't make sense, and this is what frustrates people about government. The problems are obvious.
Yeah.
They're obvious.
Been obvious.
You don't have to have a graduate degree in poli-sci to figure that out. But the people who are charged with the responsibility to do something about it often drag their feet or can't get together to work it out. And that is what's so frustrating. How do you do something to change that?
Well, and that's where I think the burden flips to the people of this state, the voters of this state, the people who are involved, because the truth is we're going into a huge election cycle next year.
Oh yeah.
It's a term limit cycle. We got a new governor coming in.
Yep.
Every statewide elected of office members looking at running for governor. You may have some members of Congress, you may have legislators. There's going to be all kind of change going on. So over the next year, everyone running for everything is going to start knocking on doors, knocking on your door, my door, every citizen's door, saying, will you support me? And if every citizen out there says, you know what, I know you forever. I know your mama. You go to church with me.
Right.
I got you. You're going to get the same status quo BS we've been getting for decades here.
100%.
But so get ready for that knock. Get ready, because it's coming. And when you get that knock on the door, say something bold. Say, I'm not going to give you my support unless I hear something on crime, taxes, economy, whatever it is, whatever's passionate to you. If voters don't demand it, you won't get it from your elected officials.
So give me the lobby priority list going into next year, because you're right about the elections. What's the priority list?
Well, for me, I would say that one, other states in the South are booming right now because people are leaving California, Illinois, New York in droves, and they're going to low tax states. We got to lower that income tax. We got to get closer to where our competitors are in Texas, Tennessee, and Florida. I would say, what's your plan to lower income taxes? Second thing, our education system is not sustainable. We cannot rank 48th, 49th, and 50th for year after year. We're losing kids to other states. We're losing kids' futures. And so I want to know, are you going to put parents first? Are you going to adopt things like education savings account? Are you going to give parents the mobility and the choice to go out and find solutions for them as compared to drawing a box around them? And then lastly, are you going to take advantage of what we do best? Are you going to unlock the energy renaissance here? Are you going to go out and attract manufacturing as compared to try to beat it up and hold it hostage? Are you going to do the things we do well, sell it to the country and attract it here? Because if we get our tax code right, if we figure out a way to educate our kids at an acceptable level, we got a lot to sell if we're ready to sell. And right now, everyone in the country is looking at the South. The manufacturing renaissance is moving south. We are missing our bite at the apple because we refuse to be bold. I think it's time to be bold next cycle.
He's really good. I got about 30 seconds. If people want to learn more about LABI, where do they go?
labi.org is the best way to do it. At our website, and also we have boot camps going on all across the state over the next couple of months to try to train people from the real world to run for office. You can find out information on that at lafeinstitute.org.
Talk about duck marching them to the gallows, man. All right, thanks, Wags. I appreciate it.
Appreciate you, man.
All right, next week we're going to talk with a lady putting on a modeling exhibition in downtown Baton Rouge. Maybe Wags will be there. Who knows? And a national organization has a local president. A transition is happening. You'll get to talk to him as he's on his way out on the next edition of The Clay Young Show. Y'all have a great weekend.